everyone, and welcome back to the Strike and Ellicott Files, an unofficial podcast dedicated to all things Strike and Robin, as written by Robert Galbraith, aka the endlessly talented J.K. Rowling. My name is Kenz.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Pools.
And today we'll be continuing our reread of The Hallmarked Man, covering chapters 4 through 6, which takes us from Robin and Strike debriefing about the interview with Decima to meeting Kim Cochran. Please be aware, as always, that our discussion of The Hallmarked Man will often reference the ending of this book, as well as the previous books in the series. Let's start off with talking about Cupid and Psyche.
Woohoo!
We had someone over on Instagram, Clementine Dream 777, who wanted us to delve deeper into the Cupid and Psyche analysis and what you think the connection to the story is. For example, Valentine Lancaster clearly being appointed to Cupid, and what this means for Charlotte's true fate, as well as Robin and Strike and the overarching plot and themes.
Okay, I have a couple questions about the question. First, is there a connection with Valentine other than his name? And then also, what does it mean by Charlotte's true fate?
Well, you could say that the figure of Cupid and Eros has become associated with Valentine's Day. And then Lancaster does bring to mind firing a bow and an arrow a little bit.
Okay.
And I mean, we know Valentine's Day and Cupid have totally different roots, right? One's the feast day of a Catholic saint, the other's a Greek myth, and they just both stand for romantic love. So we see Cupid's on Valentine's Day cards. But, you know, in this book, Valentine does step in to shoot an arrow, but it is the opposite of a love arrow.
He's the anti-Valentine.
He's the anti-Valentine. It's his nonsense about Charlotte that brings Robin to her lowest point in terms of her faith and Strike. He casts his weapon accurately and it hits his target. You know, he's very mean.
Yeah.
He's not a nice Valentine. But by Charlotte's true fate, I'm guessing that means the theory she was murdered, Clementine. I might be wrong. Unfortunately, I'm definitely not on board with that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do think she died from suicide.
I believe she died from suicide as strongly as I believed that Robin would not be infertile. But I'm still going to go with it. I don't think she was murdered.
But yeah, that's interesting. Valentine was Charlotte's best friend.
Maybe Valentine did it and then he can go to jail.
Oh, that
so
would
then
be nice.
Charlotte would be dead and Valentine would be in jail, and that's a happy ending for us all.
It is.
Charlotte's best friend
I don't believe any of that, but
is the opposite of Eros, actually. Charlotte's best friend is the anti-Eros, which makes sense because ultimately it was her unrequited love for Strike that drove her. Well, it was her deep-seated mental illness and life of struggle that caused her to kill herself. It's not Strike's fault, but it was something that she was obsessed with.
I wrote a whole essay here today. I'm glad you guys all came to my TED Talk.
Wonderful.
I want to talk about the names Psyche and Cupid/Eros, right? Because Psyche means soul, and Cupid and Eros means either desire or love. So when these two are married, it is the perfect union. It is love of the soul. And that takes me back to that final epigraph for Troubled Blood, which not only talks about love of the soul, but it name drops Cupid.
It does.
Should we read this for good measure?
For natural affection soon doth cease, and quenched is with Cupid's greater flame. But faithful friendship doth them both surpass, and them with mastering discipline doth tame, through thoughts aspiring to eternal fame. For as the soul doth rule the earthly mass, and all the service of the body frame, so love of soul doth love of body pass, no less than perfect gold surmounts the meanest brass.
So romantic. So to the people who said they're not getting their hopes up because of Cupid and Psyche, get those hopes up, guys. Come on. I'm not saying it's everything we want is going to happen in 9, but it is going to happen, and it's okay to be happy about it. Let's get excited, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that probably doesn't mean anything, but it was itching my brain just enough that I thought we should mention it, is that the story of Cupid and Psyche takes place within another story, and it is meant to mirror the overarching plot, making Cupid and Psyche, and I don't know how to say this.
A mise en abîme.
Yeah. A mise en abîme. Okay, so in art, it's the technique of placing a copy of the image within itself, which suggests an infinitely recurring sequence. So in film theory and literary theory, and this is according to our favorite thing, Wikipedia, it refers to the story within a story technique. Silkworm is the obvious story within a story, but the books themselves also feel that way with the mysteries and then the personal storylines and how they reflect each other. We always talk about how the case can reflect aspects of Strike and Robin's personal lives, so I just thought that was interesting as a little bit of an aside.
Yeah.
Should we just retell the story of Cupid and Psyche?
Yeah.
Sure. Cupid and Psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing this because Joe tweeted the picture.
Said
we
it was
talked about
relevant.
last episode, said it was relevant to book
Yep.
9.
So I mentioned in the last episode that I thought Aphrodite was Charlotte. I still think that. There's a town with a king and queen. They have 3 beautiful daughters. The youngest is Psyche, and she's so beautiful that people give her more admiration and worship than Aphrodite. And so naturally, she's pretty mad about that. Aphrodite is.
Of course.
Yeah, that's the Greek gods for you. Famously insecure when literally any mortal human does anything that could compare to one of them.
And I mean, come on, if that doesn't scream Charlotte being envious of Robin, I don't know what does.
Right.
So Aphrodite wants Cupid to go and use one of his arrows on Psyche so that she falls in love with something hideous. But Cupid accidentally pokes himself with his arrow and falls in love with Psyche. Now, since Psyche hasn't found love, her dad does what anyone would do and consults the Oracle of Apollo and finds out that she's going to be married to some hideous dragon creature, right? And they have a wedding/funeral combo because they don't really know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm.
Well, it saves on the catering costs.
Sure. And then she's taken to some unknown luxurious house where she hears a voice, which is Cupid, guides her to a completely dark bedroom. Cupid comes and has sex with her, and eventually she likes these visits. But he only shows up in darkness, and Psyche is forbidden from seeing his face, and eventually she gets pregnant. Psyche's sisters come to visit her, and they're super jealous because of how nice her place is. So they convince her to hatch a plan to not only look at Cupid, but to kill him because he's supposed to be this dragon thing, right? That's going to eat her baby. She does this. She gets a lantern and a knife. She waits for him to fall asleep. But when she sees him and he's not this horrible monster, but he's actually super hot, she's startled by his hotness and pokes herself with one of the arrows, causing her to fall head over heels in love with him. Then she's filled with this crazy passion. And then the oil from her lamp drips on him. He wakes up, gets scared and flees. I think he was injured somehow. I'm not quite sure.
Hot oil.
Yeah. By the way, I mentioned before I read a version of the story recently called Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. It's a lot more modern, a bit nicer in some areas.
Yeah.
Like they don't have sex right away. They get to know each other. A little nicer, less rapey, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, you know, so if you want to read that, it was a fun read. Anyway, Psyche's now wandering around the wilderness looking for her lost love and skipping over some stuff. So then Aphrodite loves having all this control over her, and she gives her these tasks to complete in order to prove her worthiness. So we have sorting grains, retrieving the golden fleece, gathering water from the river Styx, and then traveling to the underworld to get a box of Persephone's beauty cream.
It's kind of funny how translations and understandings of myths can change over time, because in the traditional myth, at least how I understand it, Psyche has to take back some of Persephone's beauty. Who knows how you do that? Back to Aphrodite, but gets too curious about what's in the box, and then it puts her into this deep sleep.
What's in the box? Yeah.
What's
It's not a
box?
dick.
Yeah.
It's not a dick.
Wait, where did you get dick from, Kens?
Oh, dick
A dick in a box?
Oh, I should know that. I feel bad.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, Lindsay, I was expecting for you to get that one.
I know. I missed that completely. So the reason why I'm so interested in these tasks is because if Joe is saying that Strike and Robin are Cupid and Psyche, that means that Robin, you know, and they're going to get this moment of triumph, which was that picture that she posted. Robin either has or she will probably go through some of these trials as mirrors. I would definitely say that the Hallmarked Man was a trial for Robin. I don't know if all of these tasks would be reflected in the Hallmarked Man. I don't know if they've been throughout other books previously, if some will show up in 9. I don't know if it's in order. I think it's going to be super fun to speculate about. So
definitely.
the first task is the sorting of these grains, right? Aphrodite gives her a huge pile of mixed wheat, barley, poppy seed, chickpea, lentils, and beans, and she has to sort it all by dawn. And then naturally, an ant sees this and he gathers all his ant friends to come help Psyche, and they get everything sorted for her. I think we talked about this, that this could possibly be with the case in the Hallmarked Man, because Robin refers to it as having different pieces of different puzzles and having to sort it. So that was my thought as what the connection there could be. But I don't know if anyone else has any other ideas from previous books or something else.
You know, it does make sense as far as Robin having to sort through all of the different bits of evidence and figuring out what's important for Hallmarked Man. Though I do wonder if this has relevance for 9, as far as like sorting out her feelings with Murphy, with Strike, the agency, trauma, because right now it's all like a jumbled mess. and it's impossible for her to sort through without some help from
Does
somebody
sound
else.
like therapy. Like the aunt could be a swearing therapist coming in.
So maybe it's Dr. Ant Hill Farm.
Dr. Broccoli, Aunt Broccoli.
Dr. Anthony. Wait, it's a woman. Dr. Antonia
and
Broccoli.
Broccoli. And by the way, if you have thoughts on this, please let us know, because
Yes.
I want to read all of them. The next task, Psyche has to collect the golden wool or the golden fleece from violent sheep, which is the worst kinds of sheep. Oh my God, Robin's dad is a sheep farmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She knows sheep.
Oh my gosh, I just noticed that.
Sheep
I was just
knowledge.
about to bring that up.
Psyche's basically ready to give up and just drown herself in the river, but on the way she's given divine advice on how to gather wool, which is to gather it from the trees and the bushes where the sheep are running and the wool is catching, so she's not, putting herself right next to these sheep. So she's outsmarting Aphrodite here by not actually encountering the danger. What do we think about for Robin?
That golden sheep thing is interesting. Given the opening scene in Black Heart, that golden night at the Ritz, where we learn about Michael Ellicott's profession, and also that Robin knows a lot about sheep breeds because of it.
She sure does.
And Strike gives her a little silver sheep in this book too. So she does have sheep knowledge. Much has been made of her being a farmer, like farming family. Although, to be honest, outsmarting Aphrodite by avoiding danger does not sound one bit like Robin.
Nope.
That's not how Robin chooses to deal with problems.
Here's the thing, though. She'll be working smarter instead of harder, and that's growth.
Yeah.
Is there an instance where Robin has avoided the direct danger and outsmarted it? Can we think of something like that?
I can.
Good question.
Really?
That time when she was pretending to have a panic attack in Running Grave, remember? When she wasn't with Tayo?
She was in danger, though. She was in the middle of putting herself in danger for several months.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to have the answers to this right away.
All of these tasks do kind of seem like lessons Robin has to learn, like asking people for help sometimes.
Yeah.
Figuring out ways to do things that don't involve jumping in front of trains,
Yeah, this one definitely feels like something that Robin has to figure out.
Yeah.
But the sheep connection is so good.
It
is.
Yeah.
And we do see mention of the Golden Fleece in Hallmarked Man, because Strike even makes the joke about Jason and the Argonauts. But if we're looking at this in the context not of Hallmarked Man, but of Book 9, it could mean that Robin could, I don't know, maybe end up leaning more on her father for emotional support, which makes sense to me since things are so, shit between her and her mother right now.
I like this idea of them being lessons or something, because it probably won't be something super direct where each thing lines up perfectly.
No, of course not.
All right, so then the Psyche is given a crystal vessel and has to collect water from the river Styx. She's hanging over cliffs and there's dragons and she falls.
Into despair. I don't think she literally fell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she fell into despair, which is another thing Robin is in. She needs to learn how to
come out of despair.
Out of despair.
I literally thought she fell and then this eagle grabbed her. Okay.
I know with bird blindness, sometimes you can't tell the size of birds.
Luckily, Jupiter takes pity on her, sends an eagle to help her, fights the dragons, collects the water.
Nice.
Any ideas for this?
Birds
of a feather.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing. Birds.
Yeah, has to collect something and get some help. Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that one. And then lastly, she has to go into the underworld to get the beauty cream. She's again given divine help. She's told not to speak to anyone because they will try to distract her from her task. She does this, and she also brings food to distract Cerberus. Fluffy, yes. Everything goes as planned. She gets the beauty cream, but once she's out of the underworld, she's overcome with curiosity and opens the box. There's nothing in the box except a sleep spell or something like that. She falls into a deep sleep. I think I saw online someone theorized that her descending into the underworld was like Robin going into the vault to get the missing silver, going down into the vault.
Yeah, but it wasn't really a trial for her, was it?
No.
I mean, it was just crawling into the crawl space.
It was a treasure hunt.
Silver. Chapman Farm felt like the underworld to me, and Robin was in a box there.
Yeah.
And honestly, she's been completely emotionally paralyzed, really, since she got out of there.
Yeah, so true.
I'm hoping that Strike's proposal at the end of Hallmarked Man is Eros pulling the sleep from Psyche's face, waking her up.
Yes. Because it's like pulling the blindfold off of her that she can't.
Exactly.
Especially when he's like,
why
can't you see it? Yeah.
Right? Literally everyone else.
I'm very much into the idea of Robin going into the underworld, metaphorically speaking, for part of her journey in 9. And it would tie really well into the Dante's Inferno theory that I've seen going around.
What is that theory?
So the reason why people are comparing these two is because the beginning of the Divine Comedy, aka Dante's Inferno, it's in 3 parts, begins on April 7th, which is the day that Hallmarked Man ends. And it details Dante making his way through the 9 circles of hell, purgatory, and then finally paradise. And you have plenty of epigraph material to work with.
But it is also Murphy's birthday, which the devil,
is the circle of hell.
Yeah, the Ritz for his birthday is indeed a circle of hell. Yeah, that's the first circle.
I guess we won't know until we have all the books and can ask Joe, but it's definitely fun to think about. Anyway, the story ends. Cupid recovers and he goes to save her, removing the sleep spell from her face, as you just said. Zeus approves it, and Psyche should drink the ambrosia, become a god. The baby is born, named Voluptus, I think, which means pleasure. They have a big old wedding and celebration. Nice. It says on Wikipedia that the wedding provides closure for the narrative structure as well as for the love story. The mysteriously provided pleasures Psyche enjoyed in the Domus of Cupid at the beginning of her Odyssey when she entered into a false marriage preceded by funeral rites are reimagined in the Hall of Gods following correct ritual procedure for a real marriage. And honestly, this makes me think of Robin's first marriage versus what she'll have with Strike because, oh my gosh, Psyche's first wedding was also like a funeral. And think about Robin's first wedding. She was miserable. You know, that fits.
She even wished she'd had a gun to make it a funeral. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Matt did almost die right after.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to share, I was talking about this with Rachel yesterday, and she had a fun idea. Just because Zeus intervenes in the story, Rokeby also been compared to Zeus with Leda and the Swan. Not really sure what that means, but it seems like some sort of connection.
Well, Rokeby did intervene in a big way in Hallmarked Man.
He sure did. He saved the day, didn't he?
Yeah. That story would have been disaster for Strike and Robin and the agency. So maybe he'll do them another bigger favor in book 9.
I hope so.
I do want more Rokeby.
Sorry, my lawyer spent all your money. Here, let me buy you a house.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And also killed your mother, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Have 2 houses.
Right?
Vacation house.
Aw, Strike gets to be put in the will. I wonder if he's already in the will.
Oh my God.
He probably is.
Watch him be the only one that he's left anything to.
Oh my God, that would be so fucking funny.
He likes Prudence, though.
Prudence and Strike, no one else.
I just can't believe how much I like Rokeby, you guys.
I know.
He was so likable. Oh, okay.
He is.
Anyway, I don't expect us to have all the answers here. I feel like this is something that we can continue talking about this whole time and probably within the next book, but I really am interested to hear everybody's ideas. I want to hear your theories. I think that it's going to be a really fun thing to talk about, and just I'm excited for what it means for Strike and Robin.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely Joe telling us like it's going to be okay. They've had their trials. They're going to be okay. They're going to have their triumph as well.
And their wedding.
But probably no baby.
A wedding that'll be safe to reminisce about.
All right, should we go to chapter 4?
In this chapter, Robin and Strike debrief about the interview with Decima.
The epigraph reads, "It should be objection sufficient to exclude any man from the Society of Masons, that he is not disinterested and generous, both in his acts and in his opinions of men and his constructions of their conduct." And that is from Liturgy of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry by Albert Pike.
That entire thing was a mouthful, and I'm so glad I didn't have to read it.
This quote, it seems to be speaking to the question of whether it would be ethical to take Decima's case. You know, another agency would take advantage, while Strellicott know that they wouldn't. But ultimately, the deciding factor for Strike isn't actually disinterested and generous at all. He takes the case for the ulterior motive of spending time with Robin, and I'm afraid that that's going to get you excluded from the Society of the Masons.
Oh no, Strike. Poor Strike.
Yeah. Oh, no secret handshakes for him.
Also, it's Wednesday and he didn't wear pink. Yeah, on Wednesdays they wear pink.
Wow.
I know Lindsay won't get that joke, but Ken's does.
It's a Mean Girls joke.
Oh, you have seen Mean Girls. Okay.
Of course I've seen Mean Girls. What do you think, I'm from another planet?
Yes, frequently. Sometimes.
Well, I'm very glad that he calls Robin right after leaving Decima. No, none of this,
Same.
oh, she's sick nonsense. I better not. No. Go check
No.
on your Robin Strike. Get her opinion.
Yeah.
We love that
And of
for
course
us.
he wants her opinion on Decima because she's always the most helpful sounding board. Also, though, I think he really just misses her and wants to hear her voice.
Oh, God,
But,
yeah.
that's kind of a given.
He hasn't seen her in a long time because he's been in Cornwall.
He's been in such a bad mood, and hearing her always makes everything seem better, doesn't it?
Yeah. I, for one, really appreciated Strike's recap of the case because Decima was so all over the place that I was confused. I was like, just tell me about the body. What happened? Someone give me a nice little summary.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, as a reader, I really appreciate these post-interview chapter
Right.
debriefs because especially like when they're all over the place like this, it's like, oh, thank God, you remembered the important bits. Cool.
Strike talks about the public losing interest in the case once they learn it wasn't some Masonic ritual or great conspiracy or heist gone wrong. I think I would probably lose interest as well because those are just so much more fun.
And then the body was ID'd as a man who'd brutally beaten a woman and caused her permanent injury. I wouldn't have a single fuck left to give.
Really worked out well for Griff's for a while.
Yeah, it did. He got lucky with that false ID as Knowles because that wasn't part of his plan, was it? Like he couldn't have planned that part. And nothing could have made the story drop faster than that ID.
I thought it was so funny when Strike called Decima cradle snatching and then is like, oh, no, don't want to imply that there's anything wrong with an age difference in romantic partners.
12 years is pretty close to 10 years there, bud.
Sure is,
that's
yeah.
real close. Is there 12 years of difference between Rory and Cynthia Phipps too? And it made Carmen and Robin think of their own age gap?
Sounds right. I feel like it was either 12 or 14, but I don't know.
I was kind of wondering if it was 14 too, but I feel like it was 12.
But yeah, like I said before, this is another connection with Decima and Rupert to Strike and Robin. I also really like when Strike tells her that the baby's name is Lion.
Which he threw in there just to entertain her.
And it's moments like this that I think I missed most in this book.
Yeah, they're little joking.
And you can't convince me that Robin thinks Lion is a normal name, that she doesn't also think it's weird. She's just acting like it's no big deal to annoy him, which I love.
Of course she is.
The ending of the chapter is frustrating on a couple of levels. Strike, he's being open that the case would likely bring them into contact with two people connected to Charlotte, but then Robin just shuts down.
Their first conversation in the book, he literally goes full disclosure, being open and honest, and she starts off by lying to him about her illness and then cuts the conversation short when he's being honest.
It's like as soon as Charlotte or Strike's feelings get mentioned, she just clams up and she just gets so scared. It seems like anytime it comes up, you always see her describe the way that she's feeling as being scared or panicked. And it really does make me wonder if after Strike's can't deny it, no matter how much mental gymnastics you do, love confession, that and Murphy's proposal will be the thing to send her just tumbling into like her worst panic attack yet at the beginning of the next book.
It's scared and panicked, but also there's always something good mixed in there too.
Yeah,
like excitement or elation, anticipation. But it's very up in the air to me right now what Robin's reaction is going to be because she has been so afraid that Strike can't possibly want what I want, so I'm going to get hurt. But now she knows.
He wants it all.
He wants it all.
I think part of her panic in this book is also about the fact that she's in this stable-ish 2-year-long relationship with man she's trying to convince herself she loves.
It's fake.
And she knows that any declaration from Strike will completely blow that up because part of her also knows full well she still loves Strike. And having to deal with Strike having real feelings for her would cause an enormous mess. It would make everything she's been pretending fall apart. It would make her having to face and deal with her internal emotional world. She's already feeling so unstable from Chapman Farm and now this ectopic pregnancy that I can understand her instinctive panic at the possibility of something as life-changing as Strike's telling her straight up he's in love with her because it would be a seismic shift. It would be a grenade.
Well, at the beginning, I think we're talking more about like what's coming next in 9.
Oh, yeah.
But, I'm just so over I'm in a relationship. We all know she wants out. I will never live here. Sparkling shackle. Come on, Robin.
And yet she's about to walk down to the Ritz to get proposed to.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, I can't believe that 5 weeks have gone by since Strike has said Charlotte knew I was in love with you and that they haven't talked about it. And I can't put that all on Strike. You know, he pitched the ball, even though some people think it wasn't a real confession. I get it. But her not wanting to talk about it, not asking about it, not bringing it up even jokingly, now panicking about it when telling him she have to go. Of course, he doesn't know how to bring it up again. He's trying. She's the one denying it every time he's throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's hard for him to bring it up again when she's actively avoiding the topic for this entire book. But to be fair, she only said she had to go this time because Ryan fucking Murphy was about to come in, but it's not every time. She does literally exit conversations to avoid this. It becomes a full-on pattern with her.
And he wasn't there yet.
No, well, I thought she'd hung up because she'd seen visitors passing, and then sure enough, here was her boyfriend. So it felt like he was like a second away.
Yeah, but it's mostly the Charlotte thing.
Probably did not want him to find her on the phone with Strike. I'm guessing.
I just get so frustrated when people are like, Strike, why don't you say something? Strike, why don't you do better? Strike. But I'm like, come on. What more other than just throwing it out there early, which would have been
the arc of the story arc.
Yeah, come on.
This really is the book where neither of them saying anything and making assumptions really reaches a fever pitch, because I don't think I've ever shouted, would you two just fucking talk? So much while reading a Strike book.
But then, like I said, to counter this panic, Robin also felt anticipation.
There's a part of her that desperately wants to hear more.
Of course she does. This is why I'm so frustrated, because she's panicking and has anticipation. And then later on in that chapter where she's crying in the office, she's like, I've been waiting for him to say something and be directed. I'm like, Robin, he's tried. All right, let's go to chapter 5.
In this chapter, Robin talks to Murphy about the pregnancy and the epigraph. But oh, my man, the house is fallen, that none can build again. And that is from 18, from Last Poems by A.E. Housman.
I think in this case, the house is her fallopian tubes, right? They can't be rebuilt. I'd like to think that maybe her trust in Murphy is part of that, because clearly he's a lying sack who was drunk that night and knew perfectly well that the condom tore or whatever happened. But I don't know. It's probably mostly her tubes, you know?
Yeah, I'm square with you there.
Murphy just strutting into the hospital like some sort of Prince Charming, handsome with roses and magazines and chocolates. I hate him.
I am ready to talk shit.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this feels so generic to me, like in a Matthew sort of way. It's not that roses, magazines, and sweets are a bad thing, but it just feels like this is what we get for women when they're upset or going through something hard, rather than getting something that feels personalized to her, that makes her feel seen and understood. And damn it, she deserves that.
See, I'm more upset that he's just doing the nice thing. Like, get out of here. Can you just...
How dare you?
How dare you? I hate when you do nice things or are somewhat pleasant and you exist. And
agreed. Yeah. This is what Robin means when he was so kind and supportive after the whole thing later on.
Like, the bar is on the floor.
But I am also absolutely ready to talk shit about this and him, because when was the last time that Robin got red roses? Matthew in Career of Evil as an apology for profound betrayal that she tosses in the trash.
I mean, so you say.
I do say. We're at book 9. There's no reveal about these flowers coming. Gonna be at book 9. Yeah, I will die on this hill.
Okay.
Or you're right. And they were from like the lying rapist murderer, and Ryan fucking Murphy's looking even worse in that comparison. So.
I never said that. That's not my theory.
Who are they supposed to be from then?
We had a whole discussion.
Yeah,
I know. What was your, who was
I'm
it?
not doing it again.
It was Rokeby.
Okay, I don't want to do it either. It was Rokeby? Oh, okay. Anyway, and now what do we have? It's as if Ryan fucking Murphy already knows this is his fault and is possessed by the ghost of Matthew's pathetic, useless apology. Also, Maltesers are the worst, and I'm judging him for them.
Is that the same thing as
Whoppers?
Whoppers. I think they're similar.
Those are awful.
Why would he get her those? Does he hate her? If Chase showed up at my hospital bed with a box of fucking Maltesers...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Would you be like, sign the divorce papers now, honey?
It is pretty much the worst candy.
Like, because that's ridiculous.
I actually like Whoppers. Those are one of my favorites growing up. I really liked them.
Oh my God.
It's like just instant, you need water so bad. It's like instant dry mouth.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah. Also, the shape really scares me because it's like the perfect choking shape.
He's trying to kill her.
Well, that's why you chew them first.
Well, every person who has choked on food meant to chew their food.
Well, so you say. Maybe not everyone.
How would that happen?
I don't know.
Anyway, let us fantasize about what Strike would have brought for her.
Oh, that is so much more fun. Because we know he wouldn't bring her any fucking flowers because he's been banned from that.
He'd bring her a Twix, which is a real candy.
Twix, yes, yes. Anyway, the flowers, it's a ban he takes seriously. You know what he would do? He'd totally stop by her apartment and pick up Phyllis to bring over and keep her company till she comes home.
I don't think he would.
Like a living plant. He might. But he'd bring her like, a baked good from Pat, a flask of tea, and her laptop, because she's going to be bored as hell with magazines and she's going to want to do some work.
I think he would literally bring her work, and that would be Robin would be so happy.
She'd be thrilled. She'd be like,
yes,
yeah.
I have something to do.
He'd bring her all of the things that he knows that she likes.
Yeah, you know what? He would bring her himself.
Robin is fighting. She's fighting tears when she's telling Murphy about what happened. I feel like if Strike had been there, she'd be much more safe to cry.
Even if Strike had no idea what to say, she would have felt safer to let out some of what she felt before they talked about it on Sark ages later.
Yeah, and I think Murphy would have immediately taken those tears to mean that she's crying over a baby and not being able to conceive because that's what she wants.
Or that, she's...
Yes, she does want my baby.
Grieving. Yeah, and then, later that she wants to replace it with another. She was so real for saying that.
Yeah.
Having to say out loud the things the surgeon had just told her was going to make what had happened real rather than a strange interlude she could half convince herself was a nightmare. And I just feel for her so hard because that's so relatable.
Oh, poor Robin. You know what? I am the president of the Robin Ellicott Defense Squad this whole season because I see people saying that they didn't like her in this book. And I'm like, can you not see what she's going through? Yeah, okay, she's making some bad choices. Maybe she's lying to herself a little bit. But can you not see why she's doing all that and have some empathy, some understanding, some grace for her? I will throw hands.
You all said that you wanted her to deal with the PTSD after Chapman Farm, but then it's like it shows up, and then you're like, wait, no, not like that.
Not like that. Not like that.
I'll be in the middle here. I'd never say that I didn't like her because that's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
I logically understand why she's doing what she's doing, but I find Robin more frustrating in this book than I've ever found either of them. And I think there's a few reasons for that. First of all, it's just how the books are set up, right? Joe's never left us on a Strike's doing something dumb cliffhanger, right? That's
true.
Huge. It's huge.
Doing something dumb cliffhangers are all Robins.
Yeah. And Strike's mistakes have never happened while Robin is actively trying to start a relationship with him, So just the way it's set up is already more frustrating, I think, for readers. But for me personally, I've never related less to Robin than I have in this book. I just have such a hard time emotionally understanding this level of people pleasing and keeping the peace and lying to yourself. So it makes me more frustrated than I've ever felt with either of them because I just can't understand it.
Meanwhile, I've never related to Robin more.
Aww.
Yeah, not for like present day me, but I've 100% been her before. And Joe is once again making parts of me feel uncomfortably seen.
I just don't know if I've ever tried to keep the peace. I don't know if I've ever made that decision, like in a real situation, like not in like a day-to-day situation, but like in something that matters like that.
I don't know. Yeah.
So with big decisions like that, I can't relate. It's hard. I understand why people feel frustrated.
Another thing that breaks my heart for her is this description of her hating how disgusting and ashamed receiving that news made her feel.
Oh.
And I know that she's using those words to talk about the infection, but I wonder if that disgust and shame is really deeply tied into the shame that she's still carrying from her rape. Because the more that I think about it, my God, there's so much shame that she carries around between shame from having gone out and not heeded the warnings, because Robin mentioning this when telling Strike about it in Career of Evil wasn't insignificant. Shame for it having happened at all. And then shame for how she responded to that trauma by becoming agoraphobic. It's shame all the way down. And that last one is the one that I think weighs on her more than anything on a day-to-day basis. But I think that this loss's proximity to her rape has to be dragging her through some of those old, not completely healed wounds that she likes to pretend don't exist.
Come on, Dr. Broccoli.
Right?
Let's play a fun game for this book where we count every time that Robin feels shame or guilt or panic. And then every time she lies to herself or someone else in response. Maybe take a drink each time and then die of alcohol poisoning halfway through.
I would like to live for book 9, please.
Assuming we don't die of alcohol poisoning, that tally would be impressively high.
Oh, Robin, yeah.
Okay, so the next part, on my first read, my jaw was on the floor. Not for 1 second do I believe that Murphy had not been drunk that night.
Yeah,
not for a second.
Absolutely. He was drunk. He was drunk.
Robin even thinks so later on. She's for certain, and she's still with this man.
Apparently, an ectopic pregnancy can cause a ruptured fallopian tube from around 6 to 16 weeks after conception. But tubal pregnancies, which this one is like actually in the tube, tend to be earlier because there's not like as much stretch or room. So it ruptures on, thank you, Strike fans, for the timeline, November 18th. And that would put the conception date around Robin's birthday in that first week of October, or maybe a bit earlier, which means, in my opinion, there's a pretty strong chance that Murphy had already started drinking again by the end of the running grave, right?
Oh, yeah.
And also, this means that when Robin later discovers the vodka, which is in February, he will have been drinking again for 5 months. Because I don't believe his bullshit about being on and off. Yeah.
What is that?
Least.
On and off. He's on it when he's not drinking, he's off.
Yeah.
When he is, so what, like every couple hours, that's on and off to him.
Right.
Or he's like, oh, I'll try to quit for a day. And then
that's on and off.
He's been relapsed for 5 months.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that is a pretty long stretch of him lying to her constantly.
And his parents.
I mean, to be fair, Robin does her own share of lying to him in this book.
Yes. But I'm rooting for her.
Well, this particular one caused her to have a horrifying medical emergency and additional
this
trauma.
One nearly killed her.
I wish there had been a comment about him not getting any fitter, you know, because you're like, wow, you're putting a lot of hours in at the gym there, buddy. Nothing to show for it, you know?
Limber fucker.
But of course, at the moment, he's only been lying to her for like 6 to 8 weeks and is continuing to lie when he knows damn well that he caused this when he was drunk.
At least 6 to 8 weeks, because we don't know when he started, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't know when.
And instead of just saying right then and there, yes, I had been drinking, I'm so sorry, this is the result, he keeps lying. I could not have lived with myself. The guilt would have eaten me alive. I would have had to tell her.
Addiction makes you like in the throes of an addiction, a different person.
But yeah, of course he was drinking. That's why he was so aggressive when she asked him about it. Sorry, Kens, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I don't know that I quite agree with that. I think that for people who are alcoholics who also have abusive tendencies, the alcohol doesn't make them abusive. They already had tendencies towards like you know, issues with compromise or taking accountability.
An addict will do anything to get their fix, like when they're in the throes of addiction. Alcohol itself doesn't make people abusive, but addiction is hell of a thing. Beast.
Yeah. We see in this book that Murphy gets very defensive and angry when he's been drinking. He does. And when anybody, especially anytime anybody asks him about it, there's no way he wasn't drunk that night. I think that maybe somebody should aggressively accuse him of being a liar.
I volunteer. I volunteer as tribute.
I'd really like to see Steven do it.
Oh,
yes. Just because he witnessed that.
Yeah, he did. He saw it.
I also 100% believe that he knew something was wrong with the condom. He just didn't care because he wanted her pregnant.
Definitely with you there. There's no way he didn't know that there was something wrong with it.
Oh, yeah, it's totally fine. No, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
So here's a couple of other things that annoyed me just because. It says that night he showed up late.
Wow. Rude.
I hate lateness.
I
know. He
was
probably at the pub.
Probably.
He also showed up grumpy. If you're in such a bad mood, dude, go home.
Seriously.
Doors over there.
You don't have to go to Robin's house and subject her to your grumpiness. Also, if you're so exhausted that you're slurring your words, why not try to sleep instead of sex?
Oh, that's a novel concept.
Yeah, he's not going to do the job and do it well. I'll tell you what.
I hate him.
It also annoys me that Robin is almost apologetic about having believed he's drunk.
Oh.
He's letting her apologize and be sorry when he knows that he was.
I can't believe this asshole not only guilted her that night for knowing the truth, but is still guilting her and making her apologize for being right.
Oh
my God. You know that gif from Clue of like Miss Scarlet, or when she's like, oh, flames rising in my face, you know?
Yeah, that's Mrs. White.
Oh, she looks like a Miss Scarlet.
No, she doesn't. Madeline Kahn is Miss White. I hated him so much. It flames. Yeah. Flames on the side of my face.
That's a good impression.
Breaths. Thank you. I've only seen it a few hundred times in my life. Yeah. It's fine.
Also, when he says that night we rowed, interesting way to describe you blowing up at nothing and then storming out after sex, Ryan, because a row needs two people, and I only see one drunk asshole here. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Minimizing it by calling it that night we rowed.
Yeah. I think it's worse because he's not the worst. You know, there are men who are worse.
Yeah, there are.
Anyway. Robin says, no, of course I don't, said Robin quickly. I know it was an accident. What do you mean, of course?
No. I'm telling you, Murphy blowing up at her, especially over something he knows is true, leaving and then coming back trying to be sweet afterwards in this tone that he uses when asking if she still thought he was drunk when they had sex are big red flags, because he does the same thing after blowing up at Christmas too. This guy is seriously not good news.
Why did she let him back after 45 minutes?
Like, no, tell him to fuck off and go home.
Right? He would not be stepping foot over my doorstep again. I'll tell you
Absolutely not.
There'd been no smell of alcohol on him, and Robin had felt ashamed.
Motherfucker. I'll kill him.
Take a shot, everybody. She felt ashamed.
I'll do it.
Right. Like, cool. He knows how to cover his tracks for the most part.
Right. He's had lots of practice.
Another big red flag is him blaming him blowing up on being reminded of his ex-wife. Because there is some implicit blame being placed on Robin here. Oh, if Robin hadn't triggered him, he wouldn't have blown up at her. Like, take some fucking accountability, asshole.
If you hadn't acted like that other woman. Like, he's also blaming his ex-wife for reacting to him being drunk and
alcoholic,
awful, apparently.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would be so curious to hear Lizzie's point of view on all of this, especially the bit about not believing that he was sober even when he was, because I can't imagine there might have been a reason for that, Ryan.
Right?
Oh, at this point, I am desperate for Lizzie to show up and spill the tea. She needs to pull a Lily Allen and drop a whole album detailing every single shitty thing that he did to her.
Meanwhile, though, Strike's apology later of, I'm sorry about what I said, I'm knackered, but that's no excuse, is like night and day. He apologizes and provides context, but doesn't let it excuse his behavior.
Exactly. I have so many thoughts on Strike and Robin and apologies in this book because it's all so good. I'm going to try and save them for when we get there, though. But yeah, that's how a superior man apologizes, by taking ownership and saying, I'm sorry.
I just cannot wait for Robin to realize that just because Murphy had been kind after the UHC, it doesn't mean that she has to take being mistreated or not stand up for herself or not settle for someone she loves. Like, it doesn't matter. She doesn't love him. He could have been kind, but she doesn't love him.
Also, I'm like, Robin, we were right there with you after the UHC. And I am racking my brains, but is the kindness in the room with us? Because I don't remember any particular instances of him going above and beyond. I say
he was there.
He existed.
Was technically
he
present.
He didn't do anything to make it worse.
Well,
I guess
I do remember him sending me into a rage by shushing her.
Okay,
while she
I
was
do
venting,
remember that. Yeah,
at the video interviews. I really remember that.
The word shush just sends me over the edge now.
Same. Oh, I love how this is shaping up to be the Let's Rant About Ryan fucking Murphy season, because it's going to be a fun time. Back to the classic days of hating Matthew Cunliffe in Lethal White, you know? Good stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing her finding herself again in 9 is going to be so good. I am looking forward to it.
Yep, she's broken down. I want to see her build her back up.
I need the coagula part of Solve et Coagula.
Yeah. Let's do some coagulating.
The whole thing about Murphy being kind after a trauma is the exact same thing as it was with Matthew. And I know that she's going to put that together at some point, because she did not stand there and tell Matthew that she never would have stayed with him had she not been raped, to not realize that she's doing it again. You know, I think we're going to get that moment.
God, I hope so. And Please let it be reasonably early in the book, where she at least has the internal moment, preferably in the first chapter as she walks by that statue of Eros.
Yeah. Does she have to walk by it on the
I think
walk?
she does have to walk by it on the way to the Ritz, actually.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting indeed. Yeah.
So the paragraph where she's thinking how no one would ever need to know what happened, I read that and just smiled because I couldn't wait for her to tell Strike because I knew it was going to happen.
That whole paragraph is that TikTok sound. Nobody's going to know. They're going to know.
They're going to know. I hear it in my head, Ken.
Oh, yeah. You know, as soon as she says that nobody needs to know about it, that someone else in this book is going to know about it. And that person's probably going to be Strike.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And also the shame she feels for not taking the morning after pill and blaming herself. Like, I'm going to need Dr. Broccoli to get Robin to stop being so hard on herself all the time and give herself a break.
I'm really pinning all my hopes on Doc Brock at this point. But like, either you trusted your boyfriend that nothing happened with the condom, or you should have taken the morning after pill. Which is it?
Yeah, right? If she knows she should have taken it, then obviously she doesn't trust him.
Then she doesn't trust him.
I am 100% with Robin, though, about not wanting her parents to come down. Imagine anything worse.
Oh, my God. Absolutely not. Yeah. I can't wait for the inevitable moment in book 9 when Linda finds out what happened and that Robin didn't tell her, because that's going to blow up. And we still need that bigger fight and the actual resolution between the two of them.
Yeah,
it's definitely going to spark that.
Robin loses me, though, at the end of the chapter when she says the thing about not needing anyone else, except for you, of course. Just throw up in my mouth. Disgusting. Barf.
Added as an afterthought.
Oh, I hate when she does that.
Exactly. There's one person I can think of that she needs that would make things easier, and it's not Murphy. That's for sure.
It's just she says these things to him that are so fake.
Like, how can you say that with a straight face?
Which, let's just be honest, it's really unfair to him, no matter how much we hate him. She even thinks it sometimes. You know, there was a time where she said something and it's like, because that's what you said.
Are you thinking about that bit in Running Grave whenever they do the I love you thing for the first time, or something else?
No. I think it's in this book too. It's where Murphy's going to get information from Iverson. And she's like, oh, I don't like the idea of some woman trying to steal you away.
She doesn't give a shit.
She doesn't mean it. And I think she thinks in that moment, like, well, that's what I have to say.
Like, I don't actually care.
There's a couple moments where she thinks that.
That's a real facepalm moment for me. I do love comparing it to whenever any woman even looks the wrong way at Strike, though.
Right.
Because
she's
Robin
so jealous.
Has no chill when it comes to women throwing themselves at him.
Absolutely not. The bit about Robin's hackles having plenty of room to elevate while talking to Kim sends me every fucking time.
I need to go prepare my list of every time Robin was insanely jealous of Strike and another woman, so I can whip it out when we get to that moment.
Can you imagine how tickled Strike would be if he knew how often Robin was jealous
all the time?
It's going to be so cute when they're together and she just can
fucking cute.
Tell him like, oh gosh, I was so jealous of Lorelai. I cried over Madeline.
Oh.
Yeah, I know a lot of people want Robin to break up with Murphy immediately in book 9, but I want a little time. I want her to stop doing these things and to start seeing him really clearly, and then just, be like, oh, go away. I can't do this. Totally. I don't love you. I want the full thing.
Yeah, exactly. Have Murphy come into focus, but in a completely opposite way of what happened, with Strike in the dog bite scene.
But also it's not that I need him to come into focus to be this horrible guy. I want him to come into focus to be so wrong for her and for her to realize all of the things, the patterns that she's repeating and the fact that she doesn't love him.
Herself needs to come into focus.
Yeah, I don't want something to happen where he's abusive or cheats, because then that's just another excuse. Yeah, that's just another excuse. She needs to do it for all the right reasons.
But also, there's too many loose threads and things pointing to a super messy breakup for there to be a clean break at the beginning of 9.
Yeah.
It's going to be so messy. I desperately hope they don't get engaged. But I'd be great with, I don't know, just not getting engaged, but still limping along for half the book. And then a very messy breakup spanning the rest of the book would be very fun for me. But
I'm expecting that Ilsa is going to be our MVP. If there's anybody who knows about not only pregnancy struggles, but also being engaged to somebody that you end up that you're with because you're not with this other person that you never really stopped having feelings for.
I don't even think it needs an engagement for that to happen because Robin knows that there's a ring. So I really don't think he's going to propose, just of what we know, like how she said, no, we can't do anything permanent and stuff like that. I think he's just having that on the back of his mind. She's going to know he wants to propose. I think that's enough to get that conversation with Ilsa going. But I mean, we will see. Chapter 6.
In this chapter, we meet Kim Cochran, and Strike thinks about Robin and Ted.
And the epigraph. Grief for the loss of those we love is natural and proper. But we lament not only the death of a friend and benefactor, but also the loss of the true word, of which we are deprived by his death, and which we have henceforth to seek for until it is recovered. And that's the liturgy of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry by Albert Pike.
Oh, this is about Ted. And
I know.
And Strike's lost not only his dad, his friend, his benefactor, but also the Ted who spoke the true words to him, who gave the advice that shaped him, that he guides all of his conduct by, and that he doesn't have anymore. Joe, don't make me cry like this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's appropriate that this is that Freemasonry book, like the book of manly societies. Like men go into clubs.
Men. Because this is
about the role model who is teaching him to be a man.
The opening of the chapter is funny to me, where Strike hears House of the Rising Sun playing from the guitar shop. The owner adds a couple $100 to the price of the guitar for anyone who plays it. It's exactly the kind of thing that Strike would find very amusing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's right up Strike's petty alley.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't mention like Stairway to Heaven or Smoke on the Water, because those are infamous for pissing off people at guitar shops off.
Love that he's kind of friendly with the other business people on the street. Like, it makes it feel more real, more textured, right? Also, this actually made me go look up House of the Rising Sun. Did you know that it's actually an old American folk song, like 19th, 18th century old, that may have its roots in an even older English folk song that was transplanted to America? It's not just something they came up with, blues rock. It's an old song. I didn't know that, and I just think it's really neat.
Honestly, I have no idea what song this is or who sings it, so I
know.
House of the Rising Sun. There is a house in New Orleans.
Okay, it sounds
they
a little.
Call the Rising Sun. You must have heard it.
Sure, that sounds familiar.
And it's a song about regrets, and don't do what I did. So that's interesting. But
I also don't know the other two that Ken's mentioned.
You have some major gaps.
What do you mean you don't know Stairway to
Lord in heaven. Okay. All right.
Okay. You have some gaps in your musical education that we need to fill.
Well, okay. How do you guys know these because your parents listened to them?
Everyone's dad listened to these on the radio.
No, we didn't.
All over the radio too.
No, we only listened to country music when I was a kid. So I only know like 90s country.
No classic rock whatsoever?
No. I love me some Garth Brooks. But I definitely know Mean Girls.
Well, that's good. That's more than I'd expected.
Crazy. You think I don't know Mean Girls?
I don't know what you know.
Weird.
I don't know what you don't know.
I have no idea what you'll know and what you won't know. You're a constant surprise.
You're a wild card.
Wild card. Also, get this in my research. Guess what the name of the guy from the Animals who played that annoying opening guitar riff is?
What's the Animals?
The band.
Okay.
His name? Hilton Valentine.
Motherfucker.
Wow. Speaking of, Strike Google's Valentine. Made me think of something. Isn't Valentine the one who was with Madeline when Strike met her?
He is.
Okay. So what on earth does Madeline see in Valentine, first of all?
I know, just to start with, right? Like Robin said in Troubled Blood, she's gone right down in my estimation. I'm fully here to judge her friendship choices.
Yeah. And then second,
it's probably cocaine.
If Valentine really believed all those horrible things about Strike being abusive, why would he set Madeline up with him?
Because he's a lying piece of shit.
Yeah.
I just went back and reread that bit. And the Valentine we see in Ink Black Heart is pretty different from the one we see in this book. Because he was cordial with Strike. He shook his hand. And Strike didn't recognize him at first, which seemed a bit weird to me now. But he was very high on cocaine at the time. So I think that might account for some of that.
Well, yeah, and then he's probably more mad at Strike now since Charlotte's suicide.
Yeah,
And
that
the
too.
note, and then whatever Madeline said.
Mhm.
And
Ooh,
now Strike
probably
is
that.
poking around his family with their secrets in Decima, so
Oh, yeah. Maybe not something he wants to hear.
he's a lot more mad at him now.
Yep.
Ugh, I just hate Valentine. Anyway, Strike also Googles Rupert, and here's where his round face is pointed out. So, our first clue that he and Decima are siblings. The comparison to the wax or the cheese with wax is killing me because poor guy.
My God, it is
rough.
truly an unfortunate description.
I know.
I'm just imagining him kind of looking like the parents from SpongeBob.
I was trying to think of a less hurtful cheese for one's face to be
Less
compared to.
hurtful
And I gotta
cheese.
say, I don't know if there's a good cheese to look like. I mean, it could be worse. He could be a Stilton. You could have the blue veins running all over his face. That would be pretty rough. But
Blue cheese would be pretty bad too.
oh fuck, I'm hungry. Anyway, in the pictures, we get a mention of Rupert's father, quotation marks, who is specifically mentioned as being narrow-faced and handsome.
Nice. Yeah.
I feel like we really should have seen that one come in. It's like in the same fucking paragraph.
I'm just having a hard
damn it.
time not imagining Rupert as Jack, the Jack in the Box guy from the commercials.
We don't have Jack in the Box up here.
What?
What is it?
Oh my
I feel like
gosh.
it's a burger place.
It's an everything place.
They do a couple of things reliably well.
Heck yeah, they do.
That GIF, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, the perfectly round head, or also
Yeah, that's good.
Carl Pilkington, you know?
Oh no.
Especially the animated version from the HBO.
Oh,
show.
Carl Pilkington, like a young Carl Pilkington. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my mental. And now poor Decima is just going to be a female Carl Pilkington to me, which is not fair to her, but I can't control that.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Okay, so the one picture of Decima and Rupert on his Instagram, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Also, another nice little connection to Strike and Robin because Rupert captioned it with soulmates. Soulmates.
Which they are.
Is it too much of a stretch to say that another connection between Rupert and Strike is that Rupert had an Uncle Ned and Strike had an Uncle Ted?
I mean, Uncle Ned is Rupert's actual uncle by blood.
Yeah, so's Ted.
Yeah, I know, but he had the other uncle he was raised by who was not his blood relation. Except his aunt wasn't actually really his blood relation either, because it was on his father's side. I'm just confusing myself.
Yeah, you're confusing all of us.
Although now that I think about it, his backstory is very Harry Potter. It's Harry Potter, but if instead of shoving him in a cupboard, the Dursleys had drained his vault at Gringotts to send him to like a muggle boarding school he hated that didn't even have someone trying to kill him every year, like lame.
But okay, so these connections to Charlotte make Strike pretty sure he does not want to take the case. There are some bad things to come out of this, like Robin meeting Valentine, but what do you think is the good that came from confronting some of these past connections?
You know, I think that being able to have it out with both Sasha and Tara was actually really cathartic for him because her family's refusal to ever support Charlotte when she needed it, leaving him constantly to have to be there to pick up the pieces until he couldn't anymore, left a huge mark on him because he doesn't ever want to feel responsible for somebody else's happiness, right? And it talks later on about how he couldn't say anything to them at the time because he was so scared of how his behavior was going to come back on Charlotte later. So this is the first time that he's really had the chance to get some of this shit off of his chest once and for all.
Oh, that had to have felt good.
Mhm.
Finally being able to tell them all how they're a bunch of fucking assholes. It's too bad he gave up smoking because that's the kind of thing you need a cigarette after, you know?
Yeah. And I think that, like with Robin's confrontation with Linda during Christmas, I don't think that this is the end of the conflict with Charlotte and her family. I think there's just something about this story by the end of this book that feels unfinished.
Yeah, I never expected that we get so much about Charlotte's background in this book.
Yeah.
Having us start to feel a bit bad for her after she's already dead and giving us all of this backstory after she's exited the narrative is a really interesting choice.
Oh, you guys are nicer than me. I didn't feel bad for her at all. Yeah, I didn't expect as much Charlotte either, but this is the book of revisiting the past, right? I can't remember where I saw it from. I think somebody said that it's all cleansing in a way. The way that we've dealt with everything now. Nina came back, I feel like, so that Robin knew that Nina happened.
Yeah, she knows about all of them now.
We're on a clean slate now.
Yeah.
Starting over with Charlotte and getting some personal justice with the family is cleansing as well, I guess. But now we're at the place where we're meeting one of the least liked characters in this book, Kim Cochran.
I groaned out loud when I realized that she's at the office this early in the book. Like, really? Already? Kindly fuck right off, Kim. Thank you.
Yes, disrespectfully.
Real. Yeah.
Disrespectfully.
Disrespectfully.
With all due respect,
off.
Which is none.
Yeah.
After talking to all y'all for the listener reactions, it really seemed like Kim and Murphy are the most hated characters in this book by far.
I hope our friend Jack doesn't mind me telling his joke. He said that her last name was Cochran because men need to run from her.
Gosh. That's awesome.
Funny.
I really liked that, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking it up, and it looks like Cochran is actually a Scottish surname of uncertain origin, but possibly coming from the Welsh for red. So like a scarlet woman.
It just makes me think of one of my favorite Survivor players, Cochran.
Oh, yeah.
At least one of you will know who I'm talking about. I really like, who was it on our listener episode who said, as soon as Kim was like, oh, I hoped you'd be back, I hate her. It was just so good.
Hilarious.
That's, I think all of our immediate reactions, because it's kind of like when Abigail said, you're kind of sexy, just no.
Nope.
Nope.
Step away.
Exactly. Yeah. Time to bust out the spray bottle.
I will spray her.
Has anyone suggested, I'm sure they have, but has anyone suggested that Murphy and Kim might have had history? Because, both in the Met, he hits on women when drunk and she's herself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a theory that's been going around. I don't know that I believe that happened, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I mean, he knows she works there, right? It seems less likely since he hasn't said something like, oh, she's trouble or something,
That does seem to rule it out, but it is still a fun theory, and I like it.
So she's here to give news on Plug. Did anyone here know the reference to this? Because I had no idea.
Absolutely not.
I was going to say that I was surprised Robin knew the reference because I thought it was an older comic, but I guess it's still a thing. Someone in the UK can correct me, but...
According to Google, they've been going on from 1954 and up until now, until the time that this is being recorded, which is 2025. So it's been a long fucking time.
If you look the character up, Plug is not cute. And honestly, if you're offended by this, take it up with Seth MacFarlane, okay? Because he looks exactly like how a British person would be drawn on Family Guy, like that one character. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, looking at the picture.
I mean, and it tracks because Plug is said to be the agency's ugliest target. He's the ugliest, and they all agree.
They took a vote.
Which is saying something when the Franks exist.
Bigfoot, too, right?
Oh,
he was in the running grave. I seem to recall him being gross and disgusting.
So as we do, we like to find ways to connect the side cases with the main case. And even if we're way off, maybe they have nothing to do with each other. But the first thing I'm thinking is that Plug has a teenage son who looks miserable. It made me think of Griff's, right? He appears to be the lone parent of Chloe.
Ugh, yeah.
And there's also this connection to older women. So in Plug's case, it's his elderly mother who has Alzheimer's, and Griff's with Tyler's aunt, right? Is that too much of a stretch?
I don't think so. That tracks to me.
Also, when we do eventually find out what he's really up to with the dog fighting, it requires a network of equally shitty, bloodthirsty men who all love violence, right? Birds of a feather flocking together, just like all of the creeps, perverts, and rapists that Griff's is able to sniff out and use, right?
Yeah.
Networks of gross men.
Dogs of the same tail end up in the same jail.
Same jail?
Doesn't really flow. No. Something like that. Okay, yeah. I have to say, God bless Plug's uncle, right? Who I assume is his elderly mother's brother, for hiring Strike and Robin in the first place and protecting his sister. I bet that was a case that Strike and Robin liked being able to take because they probably hated the idea of this horrible man taking advantage of his dying mother.
They can do some good.
Yeah, it gives me Bristow flashbacks.
Yeah, totally.
So Strike's earlier annoyance that Kim didn't just text the info further justified when she just shows him a video.
Literally, like this would have been fine as a text.
Strike's sitting here wondering why she couldn't have texted, none of us have to wonder, Strike, because we know why she didn't just text it.
I'm sure he has an inkling. Kim stretching in front of Strike with a tight black sweater. It's giving Matthew, right? When he stretches to show his stomach.
Absolutely. It's the same MO.
It is completely shameless.
Oh, it's embarrassing. Kim is embarrassing in this book.
It's embarrassing. I cringe for her.
Yeah,
I cringe
know.
every scene. It's just so embarrassing.
I know. But Strike looks away like a good boy he is.
Very good boy. He gets a treat.
Good boy. Yeah.
Give him a treat. Give him a burger.
A nice, greasy
meat and cheese.
Exactly. Amen. I have to say, considering how much of a shitty place he's in this book, the fact that he doesn't succumb to any of Kim's advances is impressive. I love that for him.
After the Bijou debacle, I was pretty nervous, but he really held on to his growth here.
As confident as I was that he wasn't going to sleep with her, you still worry, you know?
Yeah.
So when she was being sympathetic about Ted, I was like, leave. Go away. I hate you and your tight black sweater. I've just met you. Get out.
Get out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's something that's impressive about this book, I think, that it keeps you in such suspense that it makes you question the things that you think you know.
Right?
Yeah. I do love Strike using the minimum possible word count to answer her questions. Although it will in the future send me into a fresh rage when she spins him politely answering her questions with no further engagement into, oh, he was telling me all about it.
Oh my God.
Kim, you're Delulu. This is ridiculous.
Even that is embarrassing because
so embarrassing.
Someone could ask Strike and he could say, I didn't say anything to her. That's so embarrassing.
Jesus Christ, she wouldn't fucking stop talking to me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, cringe.
Okay, let's get to the good bit though of Strike thinking about Robin in his flat again.
Finally, what we're all here for.
So good.
Yes,
I love how he says that he had discussed this with no one because he didn't want advice or comfort. And what does he get at the end? Advice and comfort from Pat.
Turns out that was one of the things that he needed most. I am so curious what Strike and Pat's dynamic is going to be like in the next book with her being Team Strike.
Wait. And you know what? Pat giving relationship advice was set up in this book by her and Midge. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Pat, your intervention is desperately needed here.
Yes.
Step in, please. Take charge of the situation.
Between her and Dr. Broccoli, we are depending on you.
When a man is forced to recognize that in spite of his best efforts to prevent it happening, he's fallen in love with the woman with whom he's built a thriving business and who he considers his best friend, when that woman has been in a stable, happy relationship with another man for over a year, when the first man knows he risks both business and friendship if he makes an open avowal of his feelings, yet has decided he doesn't want to live with the knowledge that he might have had what he wanted if only he'd spoken, then that man must determine how, when, and where the long-resisted discussion is to take place.
Oh my God, it's so good.
So good.
The whole paragraph is just like crack to me. This is my drug of choice, you know? Strike thinking about how he's in love with Robin, how it doesn't matter what the risk he has to tell her, he needs to figure it out. Just
that's so good. His determination to get the words out is just adorable. Yeah, there are several bits in this book like this one here towards the end of the quote where he talks about him not wanting to live with the knowledge of what he would have had if he just said something just kills me. Like that chapter where Strike drives to Heberly House has a few of them. And God, this is like hosier levels of yearning. This man doesn't just want her, he needs her. He has to try telling her at least once.
Better ruin the friendship than regret it for all time. Better to answer the question to ask it your whole life.
Yeah, I've heard that somewhere recently.
I know.
Yeah.
From a very wise singer-songwriter.
From the greatest poet of our time, Taylor Allison Swift. Yeah.
This passage, it feels a little Jane Austen to me, especially when Robin gets her matching opposite one later. And I'm not sure I can put my finger on why exactly. Maybe I'm just remembering Northanger Abbey when it starts. But when a young lady is to be a heroine, the perverseness of 40 surrounding families cannot prevent her. Something must and will happen to throw a hero in her way. You know, that same kind of detached, ironic distance. I need to go reread some of my favorite books and see if I can figure it out. But I'm really hoping this is some subtle foreshadowing that we're getting some Austen.
Strike had been mulling over this problem ever since he'd made his first sober attempt to breach the barriers he himself had erected between himself and Robin Ellicott by telling her that Charlotte had been certain he was in love with his business partner and had mentioned the fact in her suicide note.
Hey, my love for you was my ex's 13th reason, you know? So romantic.
I like the acknowledgement from Shrike that this was an attempt, his first sober attempt, because the actual first was trying to kiss her at the Ritz.
Yeah.
But I like it because I still think Shrike deserves credit for trying. It's not his fault that Robin is the most avoidant person ever and found a way to ignore this, because she has now just completely ignored 2 of his attempts, and he's still not going to give up, but she has ignored them.
Yeah. And now she absolutely can't ignore it with how he said it. Like, she can't blame it on him being ambiguous or drunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
You get much more direct or sober than chapter 127.
Yeah. I have to point it out. You know, people are still giving him a hard time, and he's still doing it. He's still doing the thing. So the next paragraph is talking about how Shrike was thinking about Robin's reaction to him saying Charlotte knew he was in love with her. And I just think it's cute that it says he was thinking about this for the umpteenth time.
He thinks about it as often as we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
He thinks she was stunned, flustered, and then self-conscious. And flustered, how is she going to be now? Imagine once the anger goes away and she starts thinking about all the things she already thinks about, she's not going to be able to deny it now. She's like, oh my gosh, that is a sign. That is a sign. Oh my gosh, that was...
All of it
was a sign. I can't wait to see her crash out over this.
I know. The thing that is now hitting me as frustrating is when it says that Strike had been on the lookout for Robin speaking about Murphy more to show that she's not interested in him, right? And obviously she does not do that. But she also doesn't bring it up, even jokingly, it says. Later in that devastating chapter where she's crying in the office, she thinks about how she's been waiting for Strike to be honest about his feelings. And I'm like, girl, he tried. He could have been clearer, certainly, but she's wanting him to do 100% of the work without any return sign from her. It's not that Strike is doing it all perfectly. It's just that he's trying while she's avoiding it. It's making it harder for him to do it. And then she's getting mad at him for not doing it.
Yeah, there is so much guilt, shame, and fear that's keeping her from seeing things with Strike clearly. Because there's guilt from having these feelings for him while she's in a long-term relationship with someone else. There's shame because she hasn't managed to throw off her feelings yet. And then fear because up until the end of this book, she has no idea what he really wants out of a relationship. And there's a big difference between what she's hearing and what she's seen. And letting herself ponder seriously whether he's actually in love with her means upending the status quo in a huge, huge way. Which, by the way, also connects to the peace and adjustment tarot cards that Robin pulled before meeting up with Strike at the end of Troubled Blood.
Oh, you're so right. How is peace the problem? She is not seeing anything clearly in this book, and least of all, Strike. She also tends to do a lot of mind reading with him, with everyone, but him in particular. That cognitive distortion where you accept as a fact what you think someone else is thinking. And then she acts on that fact. I don't think she's remembering all of their history objectively or rationally. It feels like she assumes he can read her mind and know why she's reacting the way she has, and so shouldn't let it stop him in telling her what she needs to hear. But he can't, Robin.
No,
he can't.
Not a mind reader.
But she can't see it. She needs the sleep pulled from her face.
Yeah. The thing about that you said, Ken's, that there being a difference between what she's hearing and what she's seen with Strike. The thing is, once he says to her, every relationship that you have seen me been in has been a direct attempt to not be in love with you or to distract myself while you were married, right? She is going to so relate to that because that's been her relationship with Murphy. Exactly. So it's not an accurate thing to say that he doesn't want commitment because she hasn't seen it, when in reality, I mean, obviously I know that she doesn't know that. But when she finds out that that's what's been happening, it's going to make sense to her because she's there too. That's what she's doing too.
Yeah, it'll fall into place.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I can't wait. Just imagine when he tells her that. Oh, she's going to just melt.
God, I'm just imagining, like, if she realizes the God, what was that comment? When you can't have what you want, you take what you can get.
Yep.
Should have asked the question there, Robin.
Should have asked the question.
Just tell her strike, for fuck's sake.
But he can't.
No, I know.
He needs to know that she wants to know the answer. Otherwise, he's just forcing it.
Sometime since, when tallying up promising signs, he'd reminded himself that embarrassment didn't necessarily denote revulsion, that Robin had once uttered the words, "I don't want to lose you," and that she'd freely told him he, too, was her best friend. He recalled her wedding day when she'd run out on her first dance to follow and hug him.
How cute is it that he's tallying up promising signs?
It's adorable.
But it's just interesting to me to see the things that Strike takes as meaning so much.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great contemplating the reasons why these two occasions stand out most in his mind as well. Because when hearing about her not wanting to lose him, Strike knows that he's someone Robin wants in her life and that he's essentially irreplaceable. And running out on your first dance to run after him.
Yeah, I've never known a bride to
run out on her first dance.
Never.
But yeah, the hug is still high on my list of things that these two absolutely need to talk about.
Are there any signs or things that have happened between them that you'd add to this list?
Robin coming to the hospital to sit with him when Jack was sick.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty grand gesture.
Yeah, it was.
Also crazy that neither of them ever think about that accidental kiss.
I know.
Seriously.
My gosh.
Guys, what are you doing?
And it says in his darker moments, he thinks about her face when he had tried to kiss her. It's so sad that this still hurts him so much that he thinks of it as a flat out rejection and hurtful.
Yeah. And it's still so upsetting. They still haven't talked about what happened at the Ritz. Damn it.
I feel like Robin going through a train wreck of a Ritz 2.0 might be the thing that somehow sparks that conversation, I hope. So tallying things up, he's also tallying up the things that worry him. He was 8 years older than Murphy, and while he knew without vanity that he was very attractive to certain kinds of women, on the available evidence, he wasn't physically what Robin liked. Both her current boyfriend and her ex-husband, Matthew fucking Cunliffe, had been slim, fit, classically handsome men, whereas Strike resembled a broken-nosed Beethoven and was still, in spite of intermittently strenuous efforts, over a stone off his ideal weight, which in itself had to be calculated to accommodate the loss of half his leg. Strike, honey, you don't know how hard you are. Don't even.
It made me smile so much because he doesn't even know.
He doesn't even know.
He is over here thinking that he's not her type. Meanwhile, she's getting mad at herself for thinking about how attractive she finds him when she's mad at him. You know?
Yep. And she thinks that when he supposedly looks like shit. Could you imagine what she'd think if he was all scrubbed up and looking fine as hell?
Kens, stop talking dirty to me. And you know what I like so much? The narrative describes Murphy as very handsome, right? Obviously, we know that. But it doesn't ever talk about Robin being attracted to him. Those are different things.
You're so right. It doesn't. And we never get anything like little electric shocks with Ryan, do we?
Of course not. She's not in love with him.
I don't feel anything for him. She doesn't even care if he's going to get hit on by other women.
No, she doesn't care at all. I just cannot wait for Strike to find out that Robin thinks he's hot.
I know.
It's going to be so sweet.
He's going to be walking. He's going to be on cloud nine, strutting down the street, being like, guess who thinks I'm hot?
That is the cutest thing.
Robin does.
Also, this is really random, but I was thinking about Strike and Robin's weight. Because in this paragraph, it says that he still hasn't reached his goal weight. And later in the book, Strike thinks that Robin still hasn't gained all her weight back from Chapman Farm.
Oh.
Which is, I don't know how I would have done it instantly.
I would not have trouble. I gotta say. Chips and dip? Yes, please. Sign me up.
At the end of the book, it even says that she's thinner than Midge, who I picture as being very fit because she loves the gym, right? That's a thing?
She does.
It is. She's a gym rat.
So anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I just found it interesting that they're both not quite where they should be. And maybe there's some sort of symbolism there. You know, they're both off balance a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. This is a good segue into a question we got from Dr. Freeman on Facebook. How have Strike and Robin's relationships with food changed given Strike's now stalled weight loss and Robin's near starvation at Chapman Farm, from which she has not yet fully recovered?
I didn't pay too much attention to this over the book, I don't think. But honestly, what they both need is to just be happy and eat as many meals as they can together, because that'll push them both in the direction they want to go. They balance each other out.
I also think that if we do get any short time jump, after the initial opening, of course, Robin might have regained the weight and might be looking healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if book 9 is going to be her running brave, it might start out with her at a healthier weight the way it did for Strike, maybe indicating maybe she's a little mentally healthier as well. We'll see. Just a theory. Then we move on to Strike unpacking Ted's things and thinking about how he hadn't cried at the funeral. The closest he came was when Polwarth said he had been a proper man. And I just can't believe the way this came back later. It's so perfect because it says here that Ted had been the hero of Strike's youth and his model of a man. And so now he has Rokeby, the man who should have been there as his father, telling him that he has achieved the same type of manhood. It's very emotional.
Emotions closet time.
Yeah, it was a nice circle. It was a very elegant circle,
Very
that one
elegant.
there. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering why we don't hear anything about taking Ted's ashes out to the ocean to be with Jones. Like, did that happen after the funeral and we just didn't get to hear it because it wasn't important? I was wondering if one would take a boat out on the ocean in Cornwall in November.
Interesting.
I don't know what sailing is like the currents or whatever. I feel like it'd probably be like fucking cold and rainy, but put on a jacket. I'm trying desperately to grasp at some straw where we might see Strike say more of goodbye to Ted in book 9.
If he has a conversation in his head with Ted, like he did with Charlotte in Running Grave, I don't think any of us would survive.
People were talking about Ted at his funeral, but they had all seemed to have forgotten who he really was, except for Polwarth. It reminded me of the way he thinks about the speech at Robin's wedding.
Yes.
And how he was frustrated that they didn't really reflect who she was.
She should really think about having another wedding with a groom who properly understands her and can give a good speech about it. Look, going back to the idea of a proper man, it says proper man was a Polwarthism with many connotations. To be a proper man meant to be a strong man, an outdoors man, but also a man of principle. It meant lack of bombast, a repudiation of shallowness, and a core of quiet self-belief. It meant being slow to anger, but firm in conviction.
I think this line is such a great setup for a lot of this book. And I'm sure we're going to dive deep in with this subject, but what it means to be a proper man, a good man. This book is the man's book. And while J.K. Rowling shows the effects that male violence has on the world, I think she also does a really good job of showing the effects that good men have on it as well, particularly in this book. Fatherhood being one of those things. So the legacy that being a good father can leave, we see Ted's legacy live on in Strike as he's living up to Ted's example.
Totally. And we've seen time and time again the negative impact that bad fathers leave in their wake.
So we do get to hear about one of the photos that Strike took, and this is when we learn about something that a lot of us have been wondering for a long time, and that's Strike's grandfather.
Oh my God, we got so much backstory.
Has anyone heard the name Trevik before? Because I had not. I tried to Google it, and even then, nothing really comes up for the name as is. I do get results for a Cornish surname, Trevithick, I think. It seems like that's too much of a coincidence to not be where the name comes from, I guess. It says it's derived from two Cornish words that mean house and doctor. Oh my God, Strike's grandfather is Hugh Laurie.
Oh no. Yeah, I too tried Googling. The only thing I got when Googling Trevik was this romance novel called In the Waves of Tristwick, a Cornish romance.
Oh, Cornish, see?
Yeah, Cornish.
It's a Cornish
and
name.
It said, what is a fisherman to do when he catches a mermaid in his net? Let her go or fall in love?
Okay, I need to read this immediately.
Right? I'm like,
a mermaid
romance? Sign me up. I was like, oh, mermaids. Is this backstory for Strike's great-great-grandparents? Is he secretly part merman? Right? Then reading the plot summary more carefully, I think it turns out that the twist is that she's not actually a mermaid and there's some other dark secret, which is really lame because I totally prefer the mermaid version.
Well, yeah. Anyway, this Trevik was awful and abusive, as I think we all surmised, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty safe bet.
So I guess that wasn't the biggest shock. The biggest shock was that Leda's real name was Peggy.
Right.
And Peggy, I'm still not over it.
I was so bewildered.
I know.
Reading this, I'm like, who the fuck is Peggy?
Right, me
Where's
too.
Leda?
I know.
There's a third sibling? What's happening?
I'm still thinking that's got to be a nickname. Just like Ted is for Edward. So her given name is probably like Margaret Nancaro or something similar.
Oh, definitely.
Leda went to live with Trevik's mother, Strike's great-grandmother, after Her mother died young. Anyone suspicious of old Trev here?
Oh, yeah.
Very suspicious.
Yeah,
That's suspicious.
But she didn't want Ted.
I can only imagine what that must have been like for little Peggy.
Peggy.
Because this description that it has of her and taking pride in dressing her and looking after her hair and everything just gives me the vibe that Granny Nancaro might have had a bit of a Daisy Buchanan from Great Gatsby sort of attitude, I guess.
Is it meaner?
Yeah. But, you know, the best thing a girl can be in this world is a beautiful little fool sort of thing. Probably was not a fun experience for Leda.
I immediately don't like her for not wanting to take Ted as well.
Yeah.
Because they're both children who just lost their mother and has an abusive father, and just, you know, I don't want the boy. It's an attitude I hate. I hate when I see gender reveal videos where the dad gets super mad it's a girl or a boy, whatever. It's just boys and girls both need loving parents, and just to be dismissed by his grandmother like this, I just don't like her for it at all. If we are suspicious about Strike's grandma's early death, I'm also curious about Trevik's death, because it's called premature.
And that is intriguing.
So who did the Lord's work? Fess up.
Right. I was just thinking maybe someone else got wind of Trevik's bullshit and took care of him.
Right.
Or cirrhosis of the liver got him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whichever one came first.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe Joan got tired of waiting around for him to die so that Ted would move back and married her and took matters into her own hands.
I know, I mean, I wasn't the only one super touched by the mention of Joan, right, and Ted and their little love story.
Oh, that was so cute.
She and Ted corresponded via letter for 7 years before Ted came home and married her. First of all, I would love it if these letters still existed, and for Strike to find them. It's probably too much to ask, but oh my gosh, how
I
sweet.
want to read all of them.
So sweet.
Also,
goodness.
7 years can't be a coincidence. I haven't been bored for 7 years.
Yeah. Is it a coincidence that Ted and Joan spent the exact same amount of time falling in love that Strike and Robin have? Absolutely not.
This was the book that we learn that it took 7 years for Ted and Joan to be together, and then Strike says
coincidentally also 7 years.
Yeah.
I
love
think
that.
we know.
It was Ted who'd broken the pattern of hard drinking violence that had plagued the Nancaro men through generations. Ted's wife had had no need to fear his fists, and his surrogate children had known firmness, but never brutality. Ted had embodied the virtues hitherto almost unknown in that family of steadiness, sobriety, and fair play.
Ted broke this generational curse of an abusive husband and father. Ted is just so great. I love him.
He broke the cycle. Ted is exceptional too.
So let's look at all the nice Tedisms that we have here. And I love how Strike is so cute and applies it all to Robin.
I adore him.
Turns out he is actually desperate for advice.
First of all, there is no pride in having what you never worked for. And then him saying that he is willing to put in the work.
Put in the work.
This man is like Travis Kelce with Taylor Swift levels of ready to commit. I love that.
He thinks here how there hadn't been a lot of time since the ending of The Running Grave. Well, he doesn't think about it as the ending of The Running Grave. I love that he notices how the media coverage of the UHC has been hard on Robin, so he knew it wasn't a good time to bring it up. It's the total opposite of Ryan Murphy
literally
dropping I love you right after she's out.
Right? Almost like he's not a selfish asshole.
It is almost like that, yeah.
I really like that Strike pays attention to her enough to see this, and that he genuinely cares for her well-being. He genuinely worries for her sake, whether him saying anything will make things worse. He does the same thing later when they're on Sark together. And I've seen people say that it's selfish of him to be thinking about his feelings at all when she's upset there. But I'm like, he's thinking of her. He genuinely wants what's best for her and decides to shelve his own plans and desires because of it. Like,
well, that's
some
just
wild takes it
that's
there.
just silly. He even notices when the subcontractors want to bring it up because they're excited about it. He's the only one who really sees her. Although I bet Pat notices too.
Oh, Pat notices.
I don't want to hear anyone giving Strike crap when he says things like, for weeks now, Strike had daily postponed the declaration he wanted to make because he feared that dumping his feelings on Robin right now would be selfish. Come on.
Absolutely. We got to give credit where it's due here.
So Strike thinks about his fears he has regarding Robin and Murphy. He fears that Murphy's going to propose and that Robin will want to have a child. I'm interested in this because I don't think that Robin is correct at all when she yelled at him at the end and said, "You're only saying this to manipulate me because you think I'll leave." That's obviously not true, but Strike does think about that. But he's thinking about it in a way that it causes him to want to confess to her sooner. It's not the same thing as manipulating and lying to keep her there.
He's concerned that she'll commit herself even more to Murphy and he'll lose his chance to be with her.
Right.
So he thinks about maternity leave, but not in terms of how he'd lose her from the agency, but in terms of how that might play into her decision making at the point she's in and make kids like a sooner kind of thing for her.
And the next Tedism, never let the other chap change your game plan.
This part of the plan is something he's completely thrown to the wind by the end when he proposes because Murphy's planning on doing it first.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you need to jettison everything and just hit the other guy before he hits you. You know what? Gazump him. Desperate times, desperate measures.
I think what he means by this is just because there's another guy in the situation, you still got to tell her that you love her.
Yes.
Last one, stick to your own and play to your strengths. I'm sorry, but I cannot hear play to your strengths without thinking of Moody saying that to Harry at the first task.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Quick, Strike. Pull out your broomstick.
So the strengths that Strike thinks about, though, he really only thinks about the agency that they built together as being a strength. And it's a good one, but you have a lot more, bud, you know?
Yeah.
Strengths
So
he doesn't
many.
even know about, like Robin thinking he's super sexy.
Probably a beard would be a strength too.
Yeah, Strike, the beard.
The ability to grow a beard really quick.
I bet Murphy can't grow a nice beard.
Oh, I bet he can't. Pathetic
I bet he's
beard.
hairless.
Just like Matthew.
Fucking hairless. I bet he doesn't like a greasy meat and cheese.
He doesn't even like a greasy meat and cheese.
What kind of
Couldn't
man?
even throw me over a mountain.
Couldn't
Exactly.
even throw me over a mountain.
And framing it around the agency is great and all. What they've built together is amazing. But this is really only so much an advantage in as much as the agency and the work they do provides Strike with more of an opportunity to say his piece to Robin. But the problem is that he's not thinking of what his strengths are as a man over Murphy. You know, what's more important than the agency is the day-to-day stuff. The fact that he and Robin are best friends, that she can be honest with him where she can't be with anyone else. He knows how to make her laugh. They make each other feel safe. Work is not going to be around forever. You have to fall back on the things that are going to be there all the time.
Yeah, also probably his upper body strength. Because what Murphy has in nimbleness, Strike makes up for in raw power.
You know what? You are so right.
I'm sorry. I just love that Ken said this really deep, thoughtful, accurate thing.
And I'm still at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still
You're still in Silkworm, man.
Oh. I just think he should be considering that and maybe, like, I don't know, lift something heavy in front of her or like lift her or something. Just an idea.
Like Strike, yeah. In your whole wooing plan, have you considered lifting something heavy in front of her?
Yeah. Have you considered it? I'm just saying it couldn't hurt.
Maybe roll your shirt sleeves up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God. Has he even tried rolling up his shirt sleeves? He needs the advice. He needs a woman's advice.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Desperately.
He hasn't even tried rolling his shirt sleeves up. Like, come on.
Maybe unbuttoning just one button, you know,
God,
a little
letting
bit.
the chest hair peek through. Okay, we need to move on.
It's just a little peeky peek.
I was really excited when I read that Strike said he needed decisive action because I thought it meant a plan would work. You know, he's gonna have a plan. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
I need decisive action. 900 pages later.
Yeah, this in the end of chapter 13 had me convinced it was going to work out. Like, he's got a game plan. Like, let's go.
It's gonna be so romantic.
It is, exactly.
God.
Something really interesting, though, is that making an action plan and taking on projects like this, along with working more than usual, is apparently a very common way in which men react to grief.
And the universe keeps conspiring to ruin his action plan and project, which is so frustrating.
And by universe, we mean J.K. Rowling.
Yes, I do.
I just feel for him. It just seems like he feels a bit adrift without a mentor to be there for him. And I really wish that he could have spoken with Ted about some of the stuff before he died.
I know.
That being said, I am excited to see more of Rokeby and Pat in the next book.
God.
I think it'll be good for him.
Oh my gosh, Rokeby and Pat are the ones that gave him advice about Robin.
Can we introduce them to each other? Have them team up to...
I know. And Pat likes Rokeby. Oh my gosh.
That would be great.
So I'm hoping now that we've had Pat say something similar about having a plan, that the next book, he's going to have a plan.
Oh,
And,
please.
it'll be easier now that he's already told her, right? Just sticking to his guns, like, yeah, I love you. Marry me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't take back a
Consistency.
word of what I
Yeah.
said. Something to reassure her that he's not going full startled bison on her.
No. No.
Whatever that plan is, I'm excited as hell.
Oh, I can't wait.
I really hope that just tell her exactly what you're thinking at all times might feature strongly in this plan. Like absolutely reckless, wild levels of honesty. Stuff like saying the try me out loud.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of honesty.
Sweet Christ.
Robin she would not know what to do with that. And it would be hilarious.
You know what? That's the best plan I've ever heard.
Yeah. Just fucking say the stuff that's in your head.
Yeah.
And then we end the chapter. It seemed to strike that the wraith of Edward Nancarrow nodded approvingly at this conclusion.
Aww.
So having finished the washing up, he replaced the photographs and 2 hats in the shoebox, and then, after a second's deliberation, placed the old fisherman's priest on the windowsill, the only ornament, if it could be so called, he'd ever put on display. Stop my emotions.
I know. He's looking to Ted for guidance. He's giving this priest a place on his wall. And, when Robin points out later that he's not a things person, so this means that this is special. And it also means that it's going to come back and he's going to use it to hit a guy in the head with it. So it's very...
Oh, a guy who very much deserves it.
Sweet on all levels. Sweet on all levels. Yeah.
I guess we should get into the partners chat, huh?
Yes.
So what have we been up to during the break aside from screaming marry me and easily remedied and try me at each other?
What else matters?
Literally,
have I been thinking about literally anything else for the past month and some change? I don't think so.
I'll just be randomly walking and think he asked her to marry him,
That crazy bastard did it. I do want to say first off that we would like to congratulate our close personal friends, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce,
congratulations
on their engagement, because we all definitely freaked out. And God, those are some gorgeous engagement pictures.
They were so pretty. They were so normal person. I mean, relatively. But Girlie posted her cute photo on Instagram and it was the moment. It was very sweet.
I like how you could see her headphone mark in her hair.
I know, that was great because it was right after the podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm now we rewatch the podcast. We're like,
that boy knew.
She doesn't even know she's getting engaged in an hour. It's amazing.
That's cute.
Beyond the engagement, I think the big news is that album.
We actually had somebody who specifically emailed us and was like, so you're talking about Life of a Showgirl, right? And I'm like, yeah, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll talk about it.
They wanted a bonus episode. And I was like, that's not what we do.
I mean a bonus episode where we just listen to and
we're
dissect
already
every single song.
We're already niche.
Super niche. When I tell you I'm obsessed with this album, this is my album. I have listened to this album several times a day since it's come out. It's like Taylor wrote it just for me as my close personal friend. Right?
I was a little surprised you said you loved it, because the last time with Tortured Poets, you said you didn't like the happy songs, and this one is very happy.
Yeah, I think I'm in a better place. Less cripplingly depressed, more coasting.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Able to appreciate happiness and feel joy sometimes. It's amazing. And this album's such a bop. Bop after bop after bop. I'm dancing, I'm singing.
What are your favorites?
Thinking about Travis Kelce's
Stop.
height. Guess which my favorite song is.
Is it Wood?
It is Wood. I love Wood.
It's such a good song.
It. It's so funny. The sound is so good too, but it's just it's so silly and good for her. What about, is yours actually romantic?
Mine?
Lindsay? Yeah.
That one's a good one too.
It's not my favorite, but I very much relate to that one right now.
Yeah, I figured that would be up there for you.
What do you think my favorite is?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure what you'd prioritize
you're a
the
wild
most,
card.
right?
Everyone
I feel like you're gonna pull something out of nowhere that nobody expected.
Father Figure is my favorite.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, that one's a good one.
Very good.
I feel like that is the actual eldest daughter anthem. Even though there's a song called Eldest Daughter, I relate to Father Figure more as the concept of eldest daughter.
I love father figure, but in my flavor of being in my flavor of eldest daughter, I relate to eldest daughter more. That one makes me cry every time I actually sit and listen to it.
See, I don't have any feels about that one.
Yeah. So, like, I think there are different flavors of eldest daughters, you know. Father figure, excellent. Ken's
your favorite?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Really?
Elizabeth Taylor.
I fucking love that song. Dude, the first line of that chorus hits so fucking hard. I'd cry my eyes violet. That is fucking awesome, dude. Because like it hits on so many different levels. Because you know Elizabeth Taylor's eyes were violet, and also Taylor's got blue eyes. When you cry, your eyes get red, and blue plus red equals purple.
Color theory.
Amazing. It's so good. But also Wish List.
The line I love best in Wishlist is give me like a best friend who I think is hot.
Yep.
Isn't
in
that
the bridge.
Dream?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that Strikin' Robin?
It is.
If you're going through these songs,
Strikin' Robin.
like which one would Strikin' Robin?
Yeah,
Wishlist.
Yeah, Fate of Ophelia. Mm-hmm.
The way they did in Ink Black Heart, the show where they mirrored Robin with Ophelia. So of course I think about that. Yeah.
Obviously. But the song fits. Opalite.
That one's so fun.
Through the lightning strikes.
I know.
Ruin the Friendship is also really good.
Oh,
unexpectedly
I did not
tragic.
Like the sad. I like a happy ending here.
That's another one that Robin should listen to.
Yeah, like ignore the tragic.
Just the advice part. My advice is always ruin the friendship. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's not one that I listen to a lot because it's too sad.
Yeah, same.
Honey, I love.
Yes.
I feel like that one would strike in Robin. Whispering endearments.
Redefine all of those blues.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really striking Robin, but I love Canceled.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I saw somebody say, I don't really get canceled. And I thought, that's because you're the one doing the canceling, I bet. Mm-hmm. People who can't get canceled are the ones who like to cancel, you know?
That checks out.
Yeah.
I do like my friends canceled.
Yeah, same.
That's good.
Same.
That's good.
I think that I'm going to take Actually Romantic and I'm going to apply it to the whole Culpepper storyline for this book.
Yeah. And
it'll give it some levity.
Yeah. Nina. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of making me.
Oh my God. I said that the next time Joe tweets about strike, I'm going to be like, stop talking dirty to me.
It feels like you're flirting with me.
Yeah. And then hopefully that no one else finishes the line because we can't go that far.
This album and all of Taylor's fucking vinyl variants that she's been selling have finally turned me into the kind of person who's just going to start collecting vinyl records.
Yes.
So I now have a record player and I have a little stack. We went to the record store, bought a bunch of records, got a couple more pre-ordered that I'm excited about. Like I'm that person now. Insufferable.
Yeah.
I love to hear it.
And they put out these highlight vinyls of the Hamilton soundtrack in all different colors. Different characters. So I've got the pink Angelica one coming on Halloween.
Angelica.
Exciting for me. Liza.
And Peggy. And Leda.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my life now.
All right. What are we doing in the next episode, Kens?
In the next episode, we're doing chapters 7 through 9. And in those chapters, Robin looks into the Mullins case. Strike calls Rupert's aunt. And then Robin and Murphy talk about the case and egg freezing.
Ugh.
Indeed. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy what you've heard, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr at the SE Files Pod. You can also contact us on our website at thesefilespod.com or email us directly at sefilespodcast@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for listening, and we hope to catch you next time for another episode of the Strike and Ellicott Files.